Alright, what's up guys? I want to show this clip from my old YouTube video. It's about 2 months old now. It's gonna be 2 months and in 5 days. And just to show you the credibility of what I do, let me show you what I called literally the next big move.
Anyway, Tesla.
And I'm gonna show present day.
Yo, when I'm telling you 6 to 8 months long term Tesla, I mean, I know not a lot of people are going to watch this video. But whoever watches this, just put it on your watch list. I mean, just watch. We're at such a discount range in Tesla. Look at this range. Look at all this low resistance. It's too good to be true.
Anyway, I don't want to waste too much time on that. I just want to let you know that if you want to know what I said in that video, it's pretty much calling out, yo, Tesla has a huge move coming. I mean, who could predict 50% moves, 40%? I mean, it's insane. And if you look present day, we have huge moves on Tesla. I don't know why that's taking so long to load. As you can see, still same markers, same entry, everything that happened. Maybe I had my background a little darker, I don't know. Because now it looks weird. But same entries, everything. Been watching this. And the entry was at 172. Here's entry. Right after this candle close, 172.80. And from there, let's see what the percentage is. 172.80, whatever. Right there. Right here. Okay, good enough. 44% move given for free on a YouTube channel that's dead. Alright? I mean, we're still going to go up to these highs. I guarantee you I'm going to go over a 50% move on this. It's not even going to be close. It's going to be a beautiful move. But, today I kind of want to talk about, even though I've been on for a while, I just want to talk, and something else that supports biases, I'll get into it later on. But today I want to talk about how to predict big moves like this, and how I predicted this big move with such crazy expectations of, almost 50%, well, over 50% of the stock itself. And, this earnings is going to be bullish. It's going to run through all these highs as well. So just watch out for that. So pretty much how you want to know a huge move is going to be made. You want to wait for an insane discount range, like on a high time frame. You want to wait for a stock to get into the dumps, pretty much. I mean, from here, it dumped down a solid 46% down to this low, and you want to see how the market maker model structure. Obviously, you see the curvature, you see the accumulation phases throughout the selling off. I really like this inversion here, because even if, let's say, you couldn't capture the very inconspicuous move on 172, this inversion model, you can wait for this to close and just ball it and rode it up. That works too. But obviously I went to the lower time frames and I sniped it out, because I wanted to capture a more concise entry. But I saw how it looked like this was the drawn liquidity for this whole time. Moves coming down. There was not really any prominent lows here. You see, like, what does this sweep? You're just price action. Until you get a prominent sweep like this, you're still expecting for these fair value gaps to hold here. Like, why would I not expect this to become an inversion? Because there's no liquidity sweep next to it, right? Why did I expect this one to inverse? Because we had this liquidity sweep. And these two candles down was to fill in this earnings gap, and that's exactly what it did. We had a crazy 50% range. Now, day trading wise, I'm great. I'm solid on daily bias. I do daily biases the same way I choose what's gonna blow up next or how to choose your big moves. I don't know. That's just one of my strong points when trading is that I'm great at calling out daily biases and overall where the market wants to move. My weak strand in trading is the concise entry without getting stopped out. Like, let's say I knew it was going to go to this high. What happens if I buy in here, right? And it hits a stop loss within here. That's what would happen to me, is that at the end of the day, it gets to the high, but I get stopped out before it gets to the high. Now, that's a flaw, but I know where the market wants to move. That's why I'm so much stronger when it's swing trading, because you don't have to be as concise. You just have to get in and then wait for the draws to be hit. Anyway, I saw in this range that we were playing in, we hit a discount range. We swept out an internal low as well, right here. And then we inversed it. And not only, what makes this such a good inversion is that this candle here, when it sweeps out within one candlestick, and then within one candlestick it becomes a balanced price range, that makes it just higher probability than if it was like two candlesticks and like two different fair value gaps. When it's one big fair value gap like that, sweeping a low, and then it inverses in one big candle, just know that that's a very high probability area. Like, even if you want to, let's say, trade this up. Now, there's reason for this chop, which I really didn't like. The chop kind of threw me off. But you can anticipate chop before a huge move, because this is just orders accumulating. Like, for example, when you mark out these accumulation phases, usually you could see that once they move out of them, there's going to be like a little tap in. Eventually, hold on. The accumulation phases are just always going to happen before a huge move up. And you could see it with huge moves down. It depends on what type of market you're in. As you could see, chop, 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 move up. Because that, we were bullish at that time. Clearly, it swept out this prominent low. Inversed all of these, chop, chop, chopped up, got into this fair value gap here. This would be the lowest entry. Ride it up. And then accumulate, 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 move up, accumulate, move down. But this one chopped up with Doge, 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 Doge. I mean, it was just very sketchy. Anyway, so the next blow up that I'm calling now is, whoa, what are we looking at here? Verizon, right? Who even looks at this dead stock? Anyway, this would have been the low risk entry down here. You had the internal sweep and you had the higher time frame sweeps. Obviously, look at the chart, right? What's a prominent low? Oh, that's a prominent low, right? Clearly on a monthly. We had very little displacement under it. Weekly, what did we do? Instantly tapped it under. We see this fair value gap, we see this fair value gap, and we see this fair value gap. Now, usually you'd look on a time frame to make them one whole fair value gap. Issue is there is none. So, obviously, you can see what's going on here. You see the market maker model throughout here. You see the accumulation, the sell off. This was the sell side of the curve. This is the buy side of the curve. And then you see the draws on liquidity, draw on liquidity, draw on liquidity, fair value gap, re-entry, add more, draw, add more, draw. And so this move right here was still a great move. You know, that's a 27% move on the stock. I mean, who's calling that shit? But it's beautiful moves. You could be, And this is the weekly. Obviously, you're going to be going more into depth on the 4-hour, finding out more concise entries. As you can see, sweeps out the internal. You'd look for like just way closer within here. Try to look for like a balanced price range. Like, see how this one gets inversed. You could wait for a tap back in. Tap in here. Bang it up. Boom. Mark out these equal highs relatively. Boom. Next draw. Weekly. Get this draw down. And if you want to be safe, you could just wait for inversions. But, I mean, this is just clear the weekly. On the weekly chart, next draw. Respects the draw perfectly. Comes all the way back down. And what does it do? It comes back down to the accumulation phase. This is accumulating. This is where all the discounted orders are as well. Taps into here. Boom. Rips up. Hits buy side. Chop, chop, chop. Hits up. And now we've been in a chop for a while. And this next earnings kind of going to determine. I do think it's going to rip up, but I have this inversion, what I'm waiting on. This is the one that's definitely the most clear. As you can see, it's respecting this fair value gap. And then we have this big SIBI. And if it sells off, then we know that it wants to draw down to these lows. But it's just been barely moving. So if it closes above, that would be a good sign for bullishness on the earnings. And we just have so much room to the upside. That's the thing, is that, I mean, we just been chopping. I feel like usually ICT used to say when there's a huge sell-off on one side of the market, just know that there's going to be something equivalent to the right side eventually. So you see how relatively these are moving within the same span, but these 3 months, since we're now on the monthly chart, these 3 months, these candlesticks have just been tanking. That tanked down 25% in 3 months. So it's accumulating, and it's going to shoot up like 25% in 3 months. Because look, within these months versus within these months, they're relatively equal. Are in such a low range right now, and there's too much low resistance liquidity up here. I mean, I don't have to mark these out, but I'll mark them out to make them more visible in my eyes. It's just easy to see. But look at where the highs are. Look at where the lows are. And look where the liquidity is resting. Is there any liquidity resting underneath here? Is there any liquidity resting down here? Where? Like, why would this low get tapped? Why would it come back down here? For what? Why would it respect this fair value gap here? Let's make that purple, right? Why would it tap this and then come back down if it already took out sell stops? Or buy stops. But it wouldn't need to come down here. If this is a valid liquidity sweep, then it does not need to retest the same low. If it wasn't a valid liquidity sweep and it wants to seek these lower levels, then that's what it will be. But I just don't think it's going to be that. I haven't looked what level of this range we're in. If we're like near OTE. Let me throw in 7.8 level. Alright, so that was the OTE range, which is very good to see that reaction as well after sweeping. And so just put this on your watch list. We have a lot of consolidation, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months worth of consolidation. I do expect it ripping up, and we can catch these moves, you know? Just, it's insane what's happening right now in this market. Regarding like ES and stuff, it's just been ripping to the upside. Sorry, I was mentoring my friend and explaining him the market model in depth. Anyway, we just been ripping to the upside. Huge moves. Today, I really hate trading above all-time highs because you have no liquidity to really target if you're going long and the market's bullish, obviously. And usually for my back testing is that if there's a low sitting here like this within a fair value gap, the market's going to come down to it and sweep it. Clearly this one wasn't swept. So I took a loss today. Very low loss, but the reason it didn't sweep is because on ES it swept. So this is where the real trading's done. Issue is I'm looking at a worser chart. I'm looking at the index. So it's kind of annoying because sometimes you'll lose on things like these when it's really not your fault. This wasn't swept. It's just what you learn. Like this is like took buy stops and then clearly selling off to the sell side, but on ES it hits the low. You know what I mean? And ES is what the market runs off of, not SPX 500. So it didn't tap it. It just stopped me out after that, which I can't really blame myself for. I mean, and yeah, the prediction, I don't know. There's really nothing but bullishness. I can't just say that it's going to reverse now or if it's going to reverse up here. Anyway, if you have any questions, I'm trying to get more active on YouTube and, uploading again stuff. I miss it a lot. And, I'm out of school now, summertime. I'm going to get involved in live trading in my Discord if you guys want to get involved in that. And, yeah, I mean, Discord's free. So, whoever wants to join, I talk about anything with you guys, whatever. I'm not a celebrity. I just like to, see the ideas that some people say. And if you guys need any help, just ask me. I'll help you out. Anyway, peace out. Thanks for watching.